Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you with an AR-15 from the hills of Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee, the home of Smith & Wesson and Beretta, right? And Barrett. Yeah, we have lots of gun makers right here in Tennessee. And there's others. What are some I'm not mentioning? I'm sure there's some other smaller companies I'm not thinking about. There's lots of things I don't think about, right? Yeah, my brain's not capable of thinking about too many things, but yeah, in Tennessee, who'd have thunk it? Gosh, get Beretta and Smith & Wesson right here. Well, it comes down to where the best place is to do business and to manufacture things. The way of the world, people vote with their feet. Businesses vote with their feet. I'm sorry, folks in Kentucky, I didn't mean to confuse you. I know a lot of my relatives up there were thinking, okay, vote with your feet. See, now, last time I went to a voting booth, I didn't see anybody voting with their toes or taking their shoes off. So relax, that's not what it means, okay? It means people go where life is better. That's that simple. That's why all the U-Hauls end up in Tennessee, U-Haul trailers and trucks. And there's a shortage of them in California and New York. Why is that happening? Uh-oh, there's another quiz for my relatives in Kentucky. They'll never figure out. So anyway, enough foolishness. This is the old SP1 I bought from John. We headed out last week, and I said, I'm not going to clean it. I want to shoot it some more, and I'll bring it out on a Sunday because it's just a cool AR. Had one, bought one in the 80s before the crazy 94 crime bill, ban bill. It was supposed to be an anti-crime thing. Yeah, right, that worked. And but anyway, so it was what you'd call a pre-ban. So I owned that. I bought it in a gun shop in Memphis as I was traveling. That was perfectly legal. And in Tennessee, and well, it wouldn't have had to been. Long guns you can generally buy across state lines. Not all the time, but most often. Anyway, so I had that thing for several years. Up into the, early 90s or something. Bad timing. I sold it, I think, just before the crime bill made it a problem or increased the value of it. And so for those years I owned that, I didn't even realize I was in possession of a pre-ban AR-15. I really didn't, because there was no ban yet. And I don't know, why did I sell that thing? I don't know. I thought it was a little funky, but I don't know. I like it now enough that I traded John a bunch of guns and cash for this one. They're pretty pricey now. Okay, so yeah, that's a favorite, no doubt about it. Glad you're here, and appreciate everybody that helps us out. Davidson's Gallery Guns, got something from them. Yeah, been shooting. Yeah, Davidson Gallery Guns. We get a guaranteed lifetime replacement on all firearms you purchase there for you, and appreciate their support, as well as Silencer Central, that great Banish lineup. We have several and we use them quite often, right? And then SDI, the SONORAN Desert Institute, great place to get some education, firearms technology, firearms gunsmithing, drone technology. Go to sdi.edu. Yeah, I requested this, got it, and I'm going to shoot it a little bit. It's a big in-frame like revolver, Smith & Wesson, and it's a, believe it or not, well, this is a 357, but it's a remake of the Model 20, Smith & Wesson Model 20, previously called, from about 1930 up to about 1957, was called the 3844. Yeah, and there was ammo you could buy for it, 3844, which was mainly just heavier loaded, more heavily loaded 38 special, and it would handle it. Because people like Elmer Keith and everybody, they were loading up rounds trying to get more out of that 38 case and Smith & Wesson came out with this for law enforcement and hunters and everything. So kind of a poor man's, well, it wasn't a poor man's 357 Magnum. It was like the early version, I guess, the closest thing to a 357 Magnum in frame. And you might see these at a gun show, these old things. And I know I have. I had always been a little bit confused about the history of these things. You know, I'd see a big old in frame like this, and maybe it had the date on it. Maybe it was a Tulsa gun show. Excuse the wind. I hope it doesn't get too bad, but you know, this is it. It's going to be raining the next couple of days. So in order for you to have my pretty face on your phone or your computer this morning, Sunday, you got to put up some wind, or it just wasn't going to happen. It's just windy storms coming in, and it's just going to last, and it's going to be it. So anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, I would see these things like, what is that? That's Model 27? Yeah, Model 28? Well, it doesn't have adjustable sights. It's some dude, the outdoorsman. It's a 38 special. When did they make a 38 special? Giant frame, you know, I'd be a little perplexed about it, you know, but I finally got that sort of figured out, and then doing research on this and everything, I got it really figured out pretty well. So pretty neat. Yeah, the Model 20, when we got into the late 50s, when Smith & Wesson started numbering all their guns, and that does add a lot of confusion to the earlier Smith & Wessons. I confessed to that too before, you know, before I really kind of realized what was going on, what had gone on. You got all these guns, whether it's a Chief Special or the Combat Magnum, the Outdoorsman, the 38-44 heavy duty, what else? You can name a bunch of them. The Registered Magnum, all these guns, they gave them names. And then later they got numbers. There's probably a list somewhere online where you can just see it, you know, this equals this equals this, you know, in terms of what it became. Registered Magnum equals Model 27, you know, later, as of the late 50s or whatever. But yeah, very cool gun, and pretty good, nice job on the remake. It's a fun shooter. I'd like to have an original, tell you the truth. This one. Now they chambered this one 357, just to make it more versatile, but the originals were 38 special, and it's better, this big old in frame, so you got a little more versatility, you know, with it here. So anyway, 357 cartridge did not exist when these came out in 1930. You know, it wasn't until 35, you know, for that. But as I pointed out before, a 38 cartridge, it's not black. Well, I mean, you can load black powder in them, but with smokeless, you have so many variations and types of powder and different pressures, and you know, some powders, if you don't know this, you're not a hand loader, you can use an itty bitty amount of powder and get a lot of velocity. In fact, it's almost risky to load with it because it's so powerful. If you get more than you should or double charge, it's even worse. Then there's other powder that's more bulky, and I always like to use those most of the time when I'm hand loading. I love the powder that was a good powder, recommended for whatever caliber I'm reloading. Like I use a lot of 2400 and 44 Magnum, for example, and it's a kind of a bulkier powder. It takes more of it. Here comes the wind. I'm sorry, but if you were to double charge, it would just flow out of the case. It would overflow, so it wouldn't be like some secret that you would discover pulling the trigger someday, anything like that. Not that I double charge, knock on wood, ever, but anyway, what I was getting at was the 38 case can definitely be loaded to Magnum power, okay? And that's what some people were doing with this gun, because you could, as a stronger action, especially Armor-Keith and others, but same with 44 Special, 44 Magnum, that kind of thing. So, you want me to shoot it? Okay. Oh, before we go too far at all, I meant to remind you last week, at the NRA meeting exhibits, which I always go to, and I meet a ton of you all, and we do meet and greets, right? So we'll be at there on the 26th of this month, coming right up. That's a Saturday, just think Saturday. If you're going to the NRA meeting or you're around there, Saturday, the biggest day, I'll be at the Silencer Central booth from 10 to 11 in the morning, okay? So be there 10 to 11. And then that afternoon from 1 to 2 at the SDI booth, okay? Sonoran Desert Institute. So twice that day, if you're there, you can catch me, and I'd better see you. 10 to 11 at Silencer Central, and then 1 to 2 at SDI, okay? All right, so don't forget that. Maybe I'll do a short or another video just announcing that, I don't know. I'll remind you next week or however many times I get a chance to before I go. And that is in Atlanta, yeah. So if you're within 10 hours drive, you should be there. Again, forget politics and all that. The NRA is just an incredible firearms exhibit, okay? You know, basically virtually all the firearms makers are there. I've explained that many times. It's the greatest gun show on earth, you know. So hopefully you'll be there, and say hi if you see me. All right, so there you go. Anything else? Yeah, okay, we'll shoot this thing. Okay, hope you saw all the videos this week. The last Glock, man, put a bunch of stuff. The Beretta pair, which I also got from Gallery of Guns, and the M1 carbine thing and all that. What was I? Oh, ammo. I need ammo. One thing too, on the Talks channel, you might have seen a couple of those this week, I guess. The one about when I'm gone. That's something I've talked about before. It wasn't like I was in some depressed state and decided to talk about the end or something. I just think about, well, okay, what can I talk about on the Talks channel that I hadn't talked about that maybe it'd be, you know, wise to talk about, or whatever. It's my channel, talk about anything I want over there, and no shooting. So I thought, okay, I've talked about this in a Sunday meeting video time or two, I think, over the years, maybe, but let's just talk about it, you know, like video posting if I were to get hit by a truck or whatever. Mainly I talk about that occasionally, maybe 2 or 3 times. It's just so, like, you wouldn't think it's really weird, or that that was it, like if something happened to me and John posted something, or all the videos, there was 10 or 20 videos, you wouldn't get to thinking this is really weird, John shouldn't be doing that, or vice versa, you know. They shouldn't be doing that, that's weird. I wonder if Hickok has John's permission to post that video with him in it, or if John if John has permission to post those videos with his dad in it. He's just doing that to make some pennies, you know, on views. You know, his dad wouldn't want him to do that. You know, it's kind of to shut off all that stupid stuff too, you know. Yeah, trolls hate it when you don't give them something to troll about or hate about, don't they? So I just ruin their lives. I really do. I don't give them anything substantial to hate about. All right, so this is 38 Special. Now, those of you who are shooters and know about end frames and all that kind of thing, you know how much incredible recoil I'm about to endure shooting an end frame with 38 Specials in it, right? So we'll see if I can stand it. I don't know, that might have been too heavy for me. Bullseye. Oh, let's put it on Clyde. Clyde said it hurt more because it's coming out of an end frame. Do we believe him? Do we believe him? What about the cowboy? Would it hurt more coming out of this big, heavy, powerful looking gun? Come on now, would it? That is a interesting thing to think about, that maybe some people don't. Again, don't forget, if you've got a 4-inch 357 Magnum, for example, or a 4-inch 44 Magnum, whatever it is, it doesn't matter how big the frame is. It doesn't matter how big and monstrous looking the grip and frame is, how dangerous it looks, some big rib or whatever it is. You could, a 3-inch might be a good example. I've got a big old end frame 629 44 Magnum. We got a couple of them. Those things really bark, boy. They're powerful. Oh well, that wouldn't be a good example. I don't have it. Okay, let me put it this way. I could put some 44 Special in one of those 3-inch model 629s, you know, Smith & Wesson, big guns, 44 Special. shoot it. I could also put 44 special rounds in that little Charter Arms Bulldog, which is a lot smaller, lighter, less dangerous looking and all that, intimidating looking. But guess what? The ballistics are going to be exactly the same, right? I mean, unless one of the barrels is a little tighter or something like that. I mean, basically it's the same. So it's the cartridge and the barrel length that makes the difference. Barrel length makes a little difference, not a lot, but it makes a little difference in velocity. Giving you all this free information, I can't believe it. Yeah, so again, don't forget the 26th of April, be it in Atlanta at the NRA exhibits. I'll be there, 10 to 11. I'll start putting that in descriptions of all the recent videos, okay? Not that anybody reads the descriptions. That's right, yeah. I'm gonna shoot this again, can I? Also want to thank Alabama Holster. Great little Kydex concealment holsters. You know, I love them, have loved them for a long time. Been using them for years, many years actually. And every day. It's great to have support from companies who make something that you use every day, like Ballistol, Talon grips, Alabama holsters. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. You got the suppressors, you know, and you just guns you shoot from people that support you, like Gallery Guns and whatever. Some good people too at Gallery Guns. I tell you, really good people. I have met and talked to the top three, whatever, from the top down, and I know somebody there very, very well. I've known him for a long time. Avid gun person. He's our contact there, and had dinner with him many times before our relationship with Gallery Guns. He was with other companies, and just really, really good people. So appreciate you support the people who support us, and it's always nice to know really good people. You don't want to give your money to people that you don't feel like are good people. And again, I'm sorry about the wind. It's the only way I could do it. And know I get it done. Do I have one left? Yeah, let's gamble. See if I can put it on the gong. All right. I think I held too high. I've shot this enough, the sights seem to be right on. Right on, bro. Let's try that again, messing around here. I know I can hit it with the AR-15. I don't know which you'd rather shoot, or you'd rather see me shoot. You'd really rather be shooting them yourself, right? Don't blame you. I think this mic and camera does pretty well in the wind, unless it gets really bad, and it is getting pretty windy. Again, I apologize. I wasn't going to do it, and I don't know when I'm going to do it. It's going to be raining the whole time. If I don't do it over here and go ahead and try to fight the wind, it's just going to be a sit on a porch and talk to you, for a little bit. No shooting, no ballistics. So, all right, let's try the gong. That's a nice gun. It's always nice when you have sights like this that are right on. Right, Clyde? How about a 2-liter right here? Oh, boy. Took off like a rocket. Click. Yeah, this is really one of my favorite handguns of types of handguns. One with fixed sights, because they're just more dehorned. My favorite revolvers are totally dehorned, concealed hammer and all that, little ones, and then even the big ones are so nice, like my Model 65 where I dehorned the hammer. You got a sight up here, it's not going to hang on anything. You have nothing back here to hang on except, of course, the hammer. Not that this is going in my pocket, but it's just something neat about that. When you pull it up to shoot something and you want to bear down and hit that mule deer at 800 yards out there, if you know the sights are right on. you know, and they ride on because you're not going to move them very easily, are you? They readjust them. So that makes a especially nice revolver. A lot of these were taken and, or at least quite a few, and reamed out. Gunsmiths converted them to 44 special, and that would be nice. That is, someone was asking me the other day if I had another gun, or is there a Moby Dick gun or whatever that I am still seeking, I'd like to have. My life is not complete without it or anything, and I'm very fortunate. There's really nothing like that. Very, very fortunate. But I do have a weakness on my radar. I love 44 special a lot, and something like this, or an old triple lock in 44 special that was in good shape, but yet not like right off the line, something that's crazy expensive, but something that would be a shooter, and 44 special, be pretty cool. And I think yeah, I am getting tempted on a big 44 special in frame. I just am. Whether it's an old triple lock, those Lou Horton 3-inchers are cool. You see them pop up occasionally. Very expensive. Really cool. I mean, one of the coolest firearms ever made, I guess, in 44 special. The only thing is, I don't know that, as much as I like a 3-inch barrel, I've got a bunch of 3-inch barrel guns, and I don't know that I want another end frame and a 3-inch barrel, you know. Something like this is just really kind of appealing to me. Or an old Model 24. The 24s all have adjustable sights, don't they? You know, I'm talking to you like you're all gun collectors, but you know, the Model 24 is the 44 special. Unless you go back into just the, you know, the 44, the Smith & Wesson early ones, triple lock, and the second, third generation of those and everything, when they quit putting the triple lock on them, they're more like this. So I don't know. Yeah, I really need another gun to. Okay. So anyway, anything else you wanted to know about? Shoot too much 44, aren't it? Let me give you kiddies some advice, young people, before I get winded out here. I'm already windy enough, right? Again, sorry about the wind. I don't like. I love the West, but you know, there are places out there you could give me 1,000 acres out there somewhere, and beautiful terrain, and I don't know, that it depends on what state we're talking, right? But if like 90% of the time you've got a hard wind, I just think it would get old. I really do. I've been out there enough to feel that. You know, you stop to gas up, you're out and around, and it's wow. If it's like this all the time, I know you get used to anything, but I don't know, wind gets annoying to me. Yeah, young people, keep in mind that freedom is messy. If you expect, I've talked about this before, you expect things to be utopia, and you get mad at your government, and that's any political party or whoever, even your company, all that kind of thing. I've warned you all about that many times. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be messy, and your company, they're not going to do things you like. You're going to think they're stupid. You're going to think your government's stupid, your city government, county, the national, the state, because it's people. They're all real imperfect. Do I need to tell you that? Ego-driven, just like all of us to some extent, and so it's going to be messy. Freedom, and the more freedom we have, the messier it is. It's just the way it is. So that's kind of the status quo. That's where you got to start from and know and understand. That's the way life is. It's messy. It's not like a computer game or some kind of thing that's concocted that is perfect, or mathematical formula or whatever. We're dealing with people and politics, okay? So you got to just know that. It's going to be messy, and there's going to be things that are irritating, no matter what it is. Your church, your company, your family. That's just it. That's the baseline. That's what it's going to be. If it seems perfect, it's probably fake. It's probably not real. It's pretend. Now, keeping that in mind, freedom. So freedom is a messy thing, and a dictatorship looks less messy, doesn't it? A dictatorship, yeah, authoritarian system. Everything looks better. The news looks good, you know, because you're not allowed to publish anything. It's not positive, right? So just keep that in mind. And I wanted to share something. And I hate it. I can't remember the guy's YouTube username. It's Buffalo something. I know that because I've seen a couple of his videos that popped up, and I've watched the videos. It was Buffalo Man or Buffalo Guy or something, and I kind of searched for that. I couldn't find it. Some of you will know because I think it was about firearms or something, or camping or whatever it was. But anyway, he signs off. He signs off every video, I think, and this will tell you. He says, so remember, if anybody asks you to give up some freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is the greater good. I mean, I thought that's great. It is so true, because that is kind of the socialist mantra, the communist mantra. You know, you sacrifice your individuality and your freedom for the greater good of society. Well, where does that end, right? There's no limit to what your almighty powerful government can ask you to give up for the greater good, right? That's kind of like, if it saves one life, it's worth it. No, sorry, it's not. Yeah, we could reduce all speed limits by 10 miles an hour. It would save all kinds of lives. Reduce all speed limits by 20 or 30. It would save many, many thousands of lives, not just one. You know, well, it's the greater good. Why don't we do it? And you could list any number of things like that, can't you? But anyway, I think that is great. Someone will let me know who it is. Give him credit. If anybody asks you to give up some freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is their greater good. And I don't know if he's quoting somebody, some well-known, really intelligent philosopher like me, or if he just made that up, or he just piecing it together. But it's great advice, isn't it? And it's just wonderful advice, because so many things sound good and sound worthy, and it's a wonderful opportunity to virtue signal. Well, I won't do that. I'll give up my guns. It might save a life. If we all just give up our guns, we might save a life or some lives or whatever. Yeah, right. Not in the long run. We would not even in the short run, right? But so many things sound good, you know, to give up or to go along with for the greater good. Now, sometimes you do have to compromise, right, in this world. Yeah. You know, because it is a society, and I can't drive down my county roads back here 120 miles an hour. I do have to, for the greater good. It is for the greater good that I drive 40 or 50, you know, whatever the speed limit is, because I'm probably going to kill somebody if I drive 110 miles an hour. I mean, we all, understandably, we do compromise for the greater good, for our own good and everybody else's good. That's part of living with people. But that's a good one to remember, you know, give up freedom. You don't want to be giving up freedom. Okay, enough preaching. So I hope to see a lot of you at the NRA meeting, and I know it will. I just don't want to see those messages when it's over. It happens every time. I come back from somewhere. Yeah. Oh, you were at the NRA meeting? I didn't know that. Oh man, I ought to come see you. I was there. I didn't know you were going to be there. You know, that's a little bit like almost every day I'll see a comment. How about doing a video? Oh gosh, just the morning I said, how about doing a video on, what was it? It was something we have at least 3 videos on. And that happens all the time. You know, when you're going to do video on, fill in the blank, you know. And that comes from just, I don't know, not searching the channel or just watching what gets fed to you, you know, which is another point. You know, it's getting harder and harder for people, especially new people starting out, and everybody sees a change in how YouTube acts with gun videos. You gotta find people. You know, you can't just wait to be fed. It's that simple. I recommend everybody because I've got a handful of people that I go to their channels because I want to see what they've been doing, and I watch them fairly regularly, and then also I don't get anything from them, and I got to go to their channel. I recommend everybody probably pick out whatever the category, say gun video makers or whatever. Who are your top favorite firearms video makers? Whether I'm in that group or not, whether we're there or not, but pick out the top 5 that you really don't like to miss, you like to keep up with, and just make either a mental note or on paper, and then just keep up with them. Go to their channel and see what they've been doing and watch their videos, because YouTube is just not going to help you out. You're going to miss. You know, we do, like, we publish every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday, for example, and then sometimes in between as well. So like every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday, you can count on it. So I know you're not getting fed those things. Some of you do. It's just random, right? Because I'm on the receiving end of that too. I watch videos, gun videos, in all kinds of areas I'm interested in, and it's like these people disappeared. Where'd they go? You know, it'll occur to me, gosh, I didn't see anything from so-and-so. And you were regularly getting fed to me. And I don't know what it is exactly, you know, when you're subscribed. It's a weird thing. Some of it has to do with the process of making, the algorithm, so sophisticated now, the AI. If YouTube doesn't like what you're doing, and I really infer that just from what I know about YouTube and the things they try to get us to do, all that kind of thing, as creators. So if you're not doing some of those things, I have really little doubt that they are, they're in their algorithm, you're not going to surface as often. You know, if you're not doing it, you're doing a crazy thumbnail, or you're putting this in a thumbnail or title, whatever it is. So it is the Wild West out there, and we're at the mercy of these folks. So just keep that in mind. All right, 38 special. It's very special. Right, Mr. Gong? I don't think that one hit it. I think that one did. What about you, Clyde? Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah, big old end frame. Now, they didn't call them end frames back in 1930, but it, you know, same thing. Same thing. All right. Oh, I'm neglecting that AR, aren't I? I need to shoot that thing again. So yeah, I don't have any other big news for you, I don't think. No. Just make sure you're at the NRA. You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it. Yeah. You know, someone was asking me the other day. I had a really serious message or comment about what my take was lately on the NRA. That they thought that the NRA had turned things around, and they were going to start giving them some support again, and based on the people that are in there running it, and just different, and the fact that they seem to realize, you know, how they've screwed up and all that. So I don't know. I want to know what my take, if I still supported them and all that. And I never totally have left. I'm become an NRA hater. I just, you know, we couldn't continue to ask people to join, send their money with, you know, what was going on. But I've just been kind of ambivalent about them, you know, let them get their act together. And, you know, I don't know, we're not going to get into that dogfight and have any gun rights organization as a sponsor anymore. We've learned our lesson there. And that could happen with anybody, any sponsor. They could do something or become extremely unpopular for some reason, and where you would not want a relationship with them. That can happen, right? But yeah, I don't know. We stay out of that realm. I really wish them the best, and I want them to do well, and I'll keep an eye on it. And as in most people's eyes, they not only need to get back on track, they need to get on a different track. Because you know, most people don't feel like they were on the right track to begin with, even back when they were doing things pretty well for the most part. But we'll see how that looks. Yeah, anytime you know. And the other thing too is, I don't want to be one of those typical internet mall ninja idiots or whatever, and you know, there's just so many views and clicks you can get from being a hater of anything, right? Jumping on a bandwagon for anything. So I want to try to show a little bit of intelligence and reason. And if the NRA does, if it becomes very clear to everybody, most people, that they really have their act together and they're better by far than they were in the old days or whatever, I'm ready to acknowledge it. You know, not make it a mission, but yeah, okay, good. So, you know, there's just this thing about human nature, herd mentality. And herd mentality is so, mob mentality is so much more prevalent, and what would you say, it's just so easy to get into on the internet, especially if you're doing videos and you're looking for content. You know, you got that, don't you? You know, you can get content and get attention if something's going on. Keep that in mind, young people and everybody. If someone, I don't know, does something, steps in it, I don't know who, you know, I can't think of an example right away, but it's going to say, oh, there's something recently. What was it? Well, SIG, yeah, SIG, that's what reminded me of that, with the letter they put out and everything. And I'm not saying that's that situation, but if some gun company or anything, anybody well known says something or does something that really that wasn't so good, well, it might be a situation normally where they might catch a little flack for that. That wasn't a smart thing to do, and life goes on. Well, with the internet, social media, with about 10,000 content makers looking for content maybe in that area that person walks in, if you can get some mileage out of that by making it seem like maybe more serious than it is, get some clicks and views and make lots of jokes about it, and a lot of, you know, kind of thing, you got thousands of people or hundreds even, you know, doing that. It can really exaggerate a mistake that someone might make or anything, and maybe it deserves it. You know, SIG's example, they may deserve all the negative publicity they've gotten recently. Yeah, I don't know. It's the beauty of being independent with gun companies. I've got some of my preferences in terms of gun companies and firearms. I don't want to see them go out of business or anything, but whether it's Colt, Smith & Wesson, or whoever, you know, not having a dog in that fight, you know, or any entanglements is nice. You can kind of sit back and observe what happens, but I do hate to see anybody catch it unnecessarily or catch it worse than maybe they deserve. And again, the SIG thing, they may deserve all of it. I don't know. But anyway, just be aware of that, that the wolves are always out there at the door on social media looking for something to get clicks, views, and something to dramatize. So keep that in mind. Okay? All right, you might get your turn in the barrel one of these days. I might get my turn. All right, let's shoot this AR. All right. Since I have to clean it anyway, look at that ammo in there. Isn't that cool? See those cartridges? See those bullets? This thing was made in the early 80s. All right. Let's drop the bolt, might help. Buffalo. How about a plate? A plate. How about a green 2-liter on a cinder block? Yeah. How about a bowling pin? Sweet. I'll tell you, nothing particularly sexy about that. No rails and all that, but that thing get the job done. It doesn't weigh much. It does not weigh much. Got kind of a thin barrel. One of the funny things about it is that bayonet look way back there. I should bring out a bayonet and show you how that works. You know, the bayonet, time you get it down there on that. I forget now, we got the bolt back. I think the blade, depending on the type of bayonet, you know, the new bayonet or newer, or what, the M9, whatever it is, it ends up about right there or something like that. It's kind of weird. There doesn't even work really on it. But the bayonet lug's part of the gas key there and everything. So that's pretty nice. And it's like a new one. No forward assist. Yeah, SP1. No fencing. It's an old dude, huh? SP1 223. Almost looks like it's been well, it probably has. I think we looked at, there with the nicks in it back in the day. No, that was my A2. That actually could have been part of it used in Vietnam, because it had been Parkerized, and you could tell the nicks from a lot of firing on that upper. I guess it's on the upper. This one, I don't see any of that. This one is just it's just like new though. It's pretty nice. All right, AR-15 history. There we go. Another contrast. Schizophrenic, big old revolver, and an AR. So I'm gonna let you go, make you leave, and I'm really glad to get some shooting in, because it looks like I'm not going to get any more shooting in this week until, I don't know, maybe Sunday or Monday. So you all be good, and don't forget to come out on Sundays. And if you want me to keep coming out for you on a Sunday, come out and hang out with us Sunday, and or any day of the week, right? And I will talk to you later. Really appreciate you supporting the people that support us. Did I thank Alabama Holster? I think I did. Sometimes I don't remember what I say. Appreciate them. Appreciate everybody. The SDI, Ballistol, Talon Grips, Gun Fun Targets, Silencer Central, Gallery of Guns. We're very, very fortunate. We have so many good people, not just people in the industry, but really good people in the industry that support us. And that always makes it better when you're working with quality people. And you know, just of course that's basically all we're going to work with by choice, but it's makes it all more fun, especially when we have quality people watching. I can't say much for those quality people's judgment. Like, why would they be watching? Whew, terrible judgment. But it's nice to have quality people, smart people watching, even if they are a little gullible and use poor judgment. Life is good.